second. And the next one as well.
33 people were on a bus, 19 people got off, and 15 people got on. How many people are now on the bus? Choose the correct option. So I just did 20, 33 minus 20, which I know is 13. And then I added 1, which is 14, because it's not actually 20, just estimate. So that's 14 people. Then 15 plus 14 is 29. So I went with B.
Questions really, aren't they? Their own method of doing, yeah. So everybody has their own method of doing mental arithmetic questions as well. But you know, this is something that I was telling my Key Stage 3 class earlier on, that just like the human body needs to exercise to keep us fit and healthy, our mind needs to be healthy as well. And how can you keep your mind fit and healthy? Well, most importantly, we know that firstly, you get some good sleep at night. And secondly, do some calculations in your head. Sometimes students are so used to using calculators when they work at home for homework for school, that the mental arithmetic ability, a lot of the times, is not always there. If you do get, you know, like for example, in the GCSE Maths exam, now, if you do get questions in maths and you don't do any working out on the paper, you're not going to pass your GCSE exam, even though every single question is correct. Because the working out consolidates more marks than actually the answers themselves, believe it or not. So when I mean mental arithmetic, I don't mean just in your mind, but even on a piece of paper, because when you're working out on a piece of paper, you're still using your brain to work out, aren't you? It's the same thing. Do that, get used to doing that, because you need your, you know, mind needs to be sharp with calculations. And when you go into a shop and do some calculations and you need to pay for something, you need to know before you go to the checkout how much roughly you're going to pay. Fair enough. I understand when mum goes to the supermarket and probably gets £100, £200 worth of grocery shopping, it's very difficult to calculate. I understand that bit. But when you go to a normal shop, buy a bottle of water or a Coke maybe, and a chocolate bar or a pack of crisps, whatever it is, you should be able to calculate these things very quickly. Don't just leave it to the person behind the checkout thinking they're always right. Try and calculate it in your mind beforehand. This is how much it's going to cost if the price is up. And in this country, by law, every price needs to be up. Every price needs to be transparent. Try that next time. All right? Hopefully you might not get overcharged next time by mistake. Okay, let's go to Fatma for this one.
Hello?
Hi, Fatma, go ahead. Let's read the question, please.
Jonathan buys a can of cola and a roll. Look at the price list shown below and work out the total cost. Choose the correct option.
Okay, can of cola and a roll. So you can do a quick working out there, Fatma, if you want.
It's A, £2.35.
You just worked it out just now?
Yeah, I already had the working from my homework.
Okay, all right, fine, good, well done. And try the next one as well, Fatma.
Okay. Addition buys a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and 2 sandwiches. Look at the price list below, shown below, and work out the total cost. Choose the correct option.
So a cup of tea, cup of coffee, and 2 sandwiches, right? Cup of tea, cup of coffee, and 2 sandwiches. So let me just, you work it out on your side, Fatma. I'm just going to write this down quickly, all right? So 2 sandwiches. So always put the big number first. 1 cup of tea, I think it is, which is 0.70. So always just put it as a decimal, especially when you're working out pence and pounds. And then you've got your column addition there, which you're just going to add up. And how much do you get for that, Fatma?
I got £4.20. £4.25.
Well, let's work this out then. So 5 add 5 is 15. So 5 goes there, 1 is carried forward. So 8 add 7 is 15. 15 add 3 is 18. 18 add 3 is 21. And add this below as well. So that would be 22. So 2 is carried forward. Put the decimal point here because you've got all the decimals up top. So 1 add 1 is 2, and then you add the 2 at the bottom, which comes to £4.25 as well. Well done, Fatma. So that's £4.25. Let's just put that in. And let's go to the next one, all right? Thank you, Fatma. Okay, let's go to Rachel for this one. Hi, Rachel, question.
Pardon?
Just read the question first.
Kim buys a can of cola, a cup of coffee, and a sandwich. She pays with £5 note. Work out how much change she should get. Choose the correct option.
Okay, so we'll just do some working out for this one as well, right? So
Okay.
let's do Kim buys a can of cola, a cup of coffee, and a sandwich. So let's go for can of cola, cup of coffee, and sandwich. What's more expensive? Sandwich, I think. So let's just write that down first of all. So a sandwich in this case is £1.35. A cup of coffee is 85p. And a can of cola is 75p. Okay. So, Rach, did you get a total?
No.
Do you want to do it with me? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So add these up then. 5 add 5 add 5 is?
15.
Okay, 5 goes there, 1 is carried forward. So 8, what's 8 to add 7?
No. Yeah, 15.
Yeah, good, 15, well done. And just then add 15, add 3 in the top.
18.
And then
Yes,
add this number at the bottom.
19.
Yeah, so 9 goes there, 1 is carried forward, put the decimal place there. Now add this 1, add the number at the bottom.
2.
So it's £2.95, and we're trying to take the change from £5 note. So let's do £5, take away £2.95. So what am I going to do there first, Rach?
Carry 1 from the 5 and make it into a 4.
Yeah, so carry the 1 from there, make it into 4, it becomes 10, then cancel 10.
And then, yeah, and then put 9 and then 10 on the last 0.
Good, and then 10 take away 5 is?
5.
And then 9 take away 9 is?
0.
And then decimal goes there, and 4 take away 2 is?
2.
Good. So our answer is £2.05. All right. Well done. There we go. Okay, thank you, Rachel, for that. Okay, so let's go for the next question. Anybody want to work out the next one? Question 7. Let's go to Danielle. Hi, Danny.
Hello.
Danny, you can work this out. Just read the question first and then work it out from your side.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chris buys one map costing £4.50, one whistle costing £1.35, and 2 bars of chocolate costing 55p each. He pays with a £10 note. Work out how much change he should get, and then choose the correct option.
Yeah, so you can just do quick working now from your side. And then once you've added them up, take it away from £10. There's no rush. Take your time. Usually in the GCSE Maths exam paper, you tend to get one of these questions, usually in page 1 of the exam paper. So let's say, for example, if you were doing a higher GCSE exam paper, you'll definitely get one of these questions on page 1. If you were doing a foundation paper, GCSE, then you'll probably have 2 or 3 of these questions in the first 2 or 3 pages, possibly.
I got £3.5.
£3.5, and how did you work that one out?
I did £4.50 add £1.35, which was £5.85. Then I did £55 which was £1.10. Then I added £5.85 and £1.10, which was £6.95. And then I did £10 take away £6.95, which was £3.05.
That's good calculation, Danny. Well done. Thank you. Let's try the next one. Who's brave enough? Who wants to go with this? Put your hand up on the screen. Who wants to challenge? Doesn't matter if you get the question wrong, all right? Don't ever worry about getting a question wrong, because we're all trying. Everybody makes mistakes, it's no problem. All right, then we'll go with Dan. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
Hi there, try this one, Dan. See how you get on. Just read the question first.
Susan is decorating her bedroom. She buys one paintbrush costing £2.46, one paint roller costing £3.08, and 2 tins of paint costing £5.95. She pays with a £20 note. Work out how much change she should get, then choose the correct option.
Sure, go ahead. Just work it out from your side first. Take your time. So I was saying before about the questions and what type of questions will come up. So one of these questions will most likely definitely come up in the exam on the first page, maybe second page, but usually on the first page. And in the GCSE Foundation paper, you'll find possibly 2 or 3 of these questions in the first quarter or half of the foundation exam paper as well. And these questions will be in the non-calculator paper, obviously, because it's a non-calculator question. Okay, but it's all about mental arithmetic and working things out in your head. You should always try and work things out in your mind when you go to the shop beforehand, so you know exactly what you're going to pay. Don't always rely on the checkout operator to tell you exactly what you're going to pay for. They could very easily make a mistake. As you know, human error is there. At the same time, you know, even they could be inputting the wrong price maybe in the till. Maybe the barcode is not being updated. And if the barcode's not updated with the right price, there could be a mistake.
Okay, I've worked it out.
Yes, good, go ahead.
Is it £2.56?
£2.56, let's see. How did you work this out then?
I added £2.46 and £3.08. Then I did £5.95 times 2. And then I added the answer of that to £5.54. And then I took that away from 20.
That's good. Makes sense to me. £2.56 it is. Well done, Danny. Okay, and we'll go to one other person for a bit more practice. Who should we go for? But we'll just read the question first.
Rizwan buys 6 stamps at 25p each, 2 packs of postcards at 89p per pack, and 1 pack of labels at £1.09. He pays with a £10 note. Work out how much Rizwan should get, then choose the correct option.
Good, you do the working out?
Yeah, okay.
So when you do the homework, as I was saying before, you don't only do first attempt. So if you feel, if let's say for example you got 60% in your homework for GCSE, for me, that doesn't mean that's it. You go and have a second attempt at that work, and maybe if you want to even have a third attempt at that work, just to make sure that you get minimum, at least minimum 85% target. All right, that's what our target is. That's what we're looking for. Now, if you're in a situation, any of you, whereby you feel, you know, God, this is really tricky, I can't do this, I just don't understand, and you've done a little bit of research, maybe you looked in a textbook, or you've gone onto the internet, or you've gone onto YouTube. YouTube is such a fantastic place to learn as well. Sometimes do some research. You still don't understand, then no problem. Just tell me that, look, Mr. Khan, I found trigonometry very tricky, and I just don't understand it. Could you help me on it? And don't worry, that's why we have these consolidation homework classes, whereby we actually go through every single lesson together and experiment and have a go at it, really, okay? Because ultimately I have to show you what to do. So in those extreme circumstances, then just wait for the lesson to come up. But do tell me before. Anyway, Bogo, go ahead.
It's £5.63. So
Okay, give us, yeah, all right, let me just link that in and go ahead and explain to us, how did you work this out?
I did 25 times 6, which was 150, then 89 times 2, which was £1.78. Then I added both of them to £1.09, and that gave me like £4.37, and then I just subtracted that from 10, and that was my answer.
Okay, well done. Good answer. Remember what I said, Bogo?
Yes, sir.
Working out is very, very important, right? Whether it's in your head or it's on a bit of piece of paper.
I did in my head.
Good lad. Good lad. Well done. Thank you, Bogo. And one last question for the day. Let's go to Aman for this. Keep him busy. Hello, Aman.
Hello.
Hi there, you're right. So this one, Aman, look at Michael's cycle repairs bill shown below. If one breaks, some of you might have already done these questions before with me, by the way, because we're starting from the beginning. We just have to cover the basics. So if one brake cable costs £5.68, work out the price of 2 brake cables. So it's just the brake cables bit that we're looking at.
So if you need two brake cables, you need to basically double it. So you do £5.68 times 2, which would be 16, and then carry the 1, and then it would be B.
D?
B.
Okay. So B. All right. So £5.68 times 2, you're saying, which is £11.36. Is that right?
Yeah.
Good lad. Okay, Aman, stick around 1 second. Don't run off. Okay, this one as well, please, Aman. Look at Michael's cycle repairs bill shown below. If the total price of 2 pedals is £45.98, work out the price of 1. So £45.98 for 2, but we're trying to find out the price of 1.
Okay, so the price of 1 would be B. £22.99.
And how did you work that one out, man?
I basically divided by 2.
Good lad. Well done, well done. And sorry, man, we still haven't finished this question. Split up into 4 sections, all right? So just have a read of that.
Okay, I've read it. So basically, it's £18 because you already have started, and you just have to half it to get the 0.5 hours, which is £80, which would give you £18.
Yeah, so let me just explain that. Aman, just mute yourself for a second, because I think we lost your audio there for a second. So look at Michael's cycle repairs bill shown below. If the labor rate is £12 per hour, labor rate means how much a person gets paid per hour for working. So it's £12 per hour. Work out the labor cost for 1.5 hours. So if 1 hour is £12, half an hour is going to be £6. So you just do £12 at 6, which comes to £18 altogether, and A will be your answer. All right. Good. Okay, so well done, kids, for this. I just want to speak to Dan, Daniel, and Lababa. All right. If anybody else wants a quick catch up, by all means do so. I'm going to be sending over homework later on tonight for you to do tomorrow and day after if you want. And it's not until Sunday evening. So the quicker you get it done, the better it is. Just to give you some insight, our next homework is just going to be on English. So you remember we were looking at punctuation, like inverted commas, speech marks, and so on. So we're going to look at more punctuation, but this time round we'll kind of divulge into what semicolons and colons are, and a few other bits and bobs that students don't always use because they find it really complicated and sometimes they forget what it even means. So it's quite straightforward. It's not too hard, and you've got all the text information to help you gain there as well. All right, that'll be your next homework for Sunday. I'll email that information to your parents later on tonight. Okay. So thank you, Lababa. Danielle, just hang around, and anybody else wants to hang around, do so. Otherwise, I'll see you all on Monday. Okay. Look after yourselves. Take care. Nice lesson. Okay, let's go to Dan first of all. Dan, let's unmute you quickly. Okay, Dan, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, just wanted to ask you, everything okay? You know what to do with regards to my email when it comes for homework and so on?
Yes.
Yeah, quite simple, straightforward.
Yes.
Good lad. Are you enjoying the lessons?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, fine.